Yeah, turn it up. Money don't sleep. We do it different. Yeah, fast car, money move, wrist froze, on chain too. Bad ones in the cool, why the capital circulate? We don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private keys, security, life good, yo steady. Money working when she next to me. Pull up clean, city glow, engine roar portfolio. She like vibes, I like flow. Every dollar gotta know where it go. Bank slow, I move fast. Phone buzz, yield in the past. Did the work, then the craft. Now the money double back like that. New watch, but I didn't splurge. Ran the plate, then I reimburse. Assets first, then the urge. If it don't multiply, it don't deserve. They chase highs, I chase dreams. They want love, I build machines. Fast car, money move, wrist froze, chain two, bad ones, in the cool, why the capital circulate, we don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private key, security, life good, yield steady. Money working while she next to me. Self-custody, no leash, every move signed by me. Wrist defined, rules clean, I don't gamble, I scheme, lend it out, bring it home. Borrow smart, never overloan. While we toast, funds grow. Different lifestyle when the cold runs slow. They talk price, I talk flow. They need banks, I don't know. Whole system in my phone. If it's locked, I leave it alone. Money in motion, that's the way. If it's idle, it's a way. Fast car, money move, on chain life, no excuse. Private plays, private views. We don't wait, we execute. Yeah, fast car, money move. You'll stay up, never lose. Luxury and latitude. Money moves, how I choose. Lifestyle funded by systems. Welcome to the other side. We're live.
Oh, boys, it's kind of fire. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of fire. I think that's pretty damn sweet. A little something to distract you from the market absolutely destroying each and every single person here right now. But it's okay. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. Today's title, you can be right at the wrong time. You could be right at the wrong time. You've made the right decision. It just looks bad right now. And right now, with the way the market's moving, a lot of people can feel that way in crypto. They can feel that way in Bitcoin. They're having a bad day. But the same can be said for anyone looking back at, let's just talk even a couple years ago. A couple years ago now, 2024. It's crazy. It's a couple years ago. But almost a year ago, you could say if you bought in March, almost 2 years ago, you were wrong for months and months and months and months and months. Anyone right now is probably wishing they had bought at $70,000, even with the market being down at the level that it is right now. You're still wishing you bought at 70. For months and months, you were wrong. It doesn't mean you are wrong over a high time frame horizon. The same can be said that if you bought, let's look in the past even farther, if you bought the 2021 peak, although I'm kind of judging you for waiting that long to buy. If you waited long enough, if you bought back then, you waited long enough, you were still in profit. What market do you speak of? Just carnage in the arena. You are right. We're going to go over that. Time is the leverage that most of us have. Time in the market is going to make us money. If you could withstand the months of judgment, of your families laughing at you at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, if you can bear the sight of your own portfolio losing value, you will make it through and your equity curve will start to sloping out, which we'll talk about here soon as well. But it's very painful. People make these mistakes very early on, and that is because of this right here. Loss aversion. It literally hurts you twice as much. If you made 10 grand on this pump, it feels nowhere near as good relative to how bad it feels just to give it right back. If you just made 10 grand and you give it right back, it feels so much worse. Even though nothing has changed since, let's say, November. Nothing has changed. It feels so much worse. It feels so much worse. You feel sick. You feel like you're fumbling possibly. And it's because your brain, right here talking about this, it notices the pain more. It's trying to keep you alive and safe. It doesn't know that the markets are not actually going to hurt you. Unless you fuck up. Unless you sell the bottom, boys. It's going to be okay. All right, the equity curve I was talking about. The first 1 to 2 years in crypto, they're swinging like that, like crazy. You can see since November. If this is your first time in crypto, you bought maybe even up high, but even if you bought in November, you're sitting here looking around like, what the fuck? What is going on? The market is whipping you back and forth each in every single direction. And that's what crushes so many people. You buy high, you sell low, you're getting thrashed around, you're getting overly involved, you're making emotional decisions, and that will destroy you. That will destroy you because you're looking too much, you're trying to avoid losses, you're trying to squeeze every last dollar out of the market, but you give it no time to start to use time as the leverage to straighten you out. To straighten you out and send you up that equity curve. 1 to 2 years. You give it 2 years. Again, looking back at 2024, like I was just talking about. 2024, about 2 years from today. Buying at the all-time high at the time at, let's say, 69, 72,000. You are now in profit. Boys, we have to, if you're just getting started, we have to give it time. If you've been here since then, you should be used to this. You should be getting more comfortable. It's not about the all-time high compared to now. It's about where you're buying over time, getting your equity and your DCAs, smoothing that out to where it is now. If you've been buying for years, you were in profit. Long-term holders should be in profit unless you're getting overly emotional. Let's see here. Disciplined holders will see equity curves stabilize and deliver strong annualized returns. You will start to get strong annualized returns, but you have to weather the storm at the beginning. Or if you get emotional, you will become the McDonald's man, and it's GG. It's game over. You fumble the bag, you sell at the bottom, the market pumps back up, you buy the top again, even if it's these little mistakes. If you're trying to get overly involved and you're buying these dips down in the 80s, I'm sorry, if you're selling the dips down in the 80s and you're buying this 95K pump and then you're selling down here again because you're like, fuck, you just keep getting rinsed the wrong way, you will destroy yourself and you'll end up right where we belong. Sorry, I didn't realize that was under the camera there. The McDonald's man. The good old McDonald's man, which actually I think I added that to chat. Let me see 1 second. I've been playing around with these new stickers I can do for YouTube. Let's see. And oh yeah. He's right there in chat, boys. I don't think it does it on the screen, but it does it in your chat. Anyways, how can we help reduce the emotionality of the market to help make this 1 to 2 years even easier? It's a psychological test. It's all mental. The more you can zoom out and not look, the better. If you got deployed in the military for the last 2 years, like say you went overseas, you were fighting a war overseas, you probably would have done better because you wouldn't have FOMO bought the top, you wouldn't have sold out at the bottom, you would just smoothly just start to get a slow grind to the upside for many of you. But what can we do? This is me. This is me right now, about to teach you guys. Right now. Monetizing your Bitcoin. The same way that many people and many investors, many businessmen would monetize their homes. They're not sitting here waiting for their home prices to go through the moon. The average home appreciation per year is about 3 to 5% annually a year. Okay, you could say your state might be a little different, your country might be a little different. That's okay. This is just a nice little US home appreciation average, right? But although home prices aren't swinging like your Bitcoin, they're not moving like this. Again, the primary objective with that real estate is not the appreciation, earning that 3 to 5%. Over time, it is climbing, but it's not something that would be like your Bitcoin, where you're going to just pump, let's see, average 71% over the last 10 years. The last 5 years, a 36% annualized return. That's insane. So you're already winning the game. If you could be patient and use time as your leverage to straighten out that equity curve we talked about, which is right over here, 36% annualized returns. Now, how can we stack upon the game? Well, many real estate owners, they buy their real estate, usually using borrowed funds to acquire the real estate or pulling equity out of their other homes and assets. And they buy these homes and they rent them out to little families that pay dollars, right, to get a return. And they use this return to look good on paper to get more income in, to get more loans, to get more real estate, right? And then they scale. And then they get more homes, which in turn means more families, which pay you more money, right? I think most of us could agree that is a giant game that real estate investors play, right? Average cash on cash return when looking for a rental property, a good return is 8 to 12% in cash flow, getting 8 to 12% back on your asset. If you can get 10 to 14, it looks like you're doing very, very good. And some people may accept a 4 to 7% cash on cash return. Is this my specialty? No, it's not. I am not a giant real estate investor. There are lots of ex and current real estate investors inside our private community. A lot of them looking to get out of real estate because of the fact that, well, sometimes these people, they don't pay you. And so even though on paper everything looks really, really good and you thought you were going to make, let's say, even a great 10 to 14%, well, sometimes it turns to zero really fast when they quit paying. They quit paying you, right? Or the house goes to shit. So it may not have crazy volatility, but the house can break. You could have a flood, you could have a fire, you could have a bunch of college kids that absolutely gut that home out from the inside. Okay. Bitcoin has its own problems, but it doesn't have those. What Bitcoin has is crazy volatility. And also, for a lot of people, they don't know that you can monetize it. They don't know you can create cash flow. You guys obviously see where I'm going with this. How can you get tenants? How can you get people to pay you off the Bitcoin you already own, right? Now, some could argue that you could borrow against your Bitcoin and do this with homes, and that's correct. But I'm going to show you how we can get more than that 3 to 5% cash, or 4 to 7, 8 to 12, whatever you want to say, cash on cash return, right? What I do is I borrow against my Bitcoin. What many of my students do, we borrow against that Bitcoin, just like people borrow against their homes. They're using borrowed capital to get homes, borrowed equity out of the Bitcoin to open liquidity pools. It's another business, except we're not getting paid to rent out the home. We're getting paid to sell assets. When people are buying Ethereum with USDC in this case, or whether it was with Bitcoin, a wrapped Bitcoin or a Solana or a Sui, whatever it may be, insert placeholder crypto here, right? Whatever that may be, we can monetize and we start stacking fees. As people come to us and they say, hey bro, I'm gonna give you an Ethereum. I'm selling out for some USDC. You're like, okay bro, that's cool. Here's some USDC for you. And you take those fees that you earn and those are yours. And then even right now, little portfolio doing this, earning an average 74% APR. Could this even compare to the best 10 to 14% highly sought after returns? I would say no. I would say running laps. Now, something to consider is the volatility of your crypto assets, right? Those crypto assets are going to swing much more wildly than real estate ever could. But if you're setting nice wide ranges, if you're borrowing capital conservatively, like even against Bitcoin, no more than 40, 50% if you're borrowing at an all-time low, and that's stretching it, right? 30 to 40% using quality assets that are going to win long-term. That way you can let time be the leverage that gives you this nice equity curve that just slopes up and up and up. So you can get in on some of this action where you're then going to get that crazy appreciation. We're talking 36% annualized return on Bitcoin, but if you're doing this with Ethereum, that's even different. I had Ethereum bags in April that I 3x'd into the end of the year and took profit. That's a 300% gain. You're not getting that on real estate unless maybe you're flipping a freaking junker, right? And then I would say that seems more risky. But again, not my corner of the market, right? So what you do is you take these assets you believe in that will give you these insane long-term gains, and you're monetizing them to literally just create extra income. And a lot of people, they might decide to use this to cash flow their lifestyle. It's not my recommended. My favorite way to play it is to take that cash that you're earning, those fees, and get more Bitcoin. And then the Bitcoin lets you borrow more equity to start more liquidity pools. And the liquidity pools, well, what do? If I can find a little spot to put an arrow, I'll show you. Maybe not. The liquidity pools, they give you more dollars, right? And the dollars buy more Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin opens more pools. And the pools give you more dollars. And you create this infinite flywheel of infinite money. It's an infinite game. Just like with real estate, where they're borrowing and they're leveraging their dollars. I would say the dollar usually is probably going to shit, right? Inflation. We all agree that's why we came here in the first place. That's why people go here in the first place. You know, your uncles, the unk status guys, right? The oldies, the old heads, they're in real estate. A lot of our generation, the younger guys like me, kids, there's a lot of kids that like, hey, they're like, hey, I'm just doing Bitcoin. Why do we want this? There's a lot of risk with this. There's a lot of guys that used to be in the real estate game, like I was saying, that are in a private community now, that they are dumping homes to get Bitcoin. People like Michael Saylor, a lot of them compare Bitcoin to what? Real estate in Manhattan? And you don't want to sell it. Even when I'm up here at the all-time high, again, if I didn't sell any of my Bitcoin, which I didn't, I sold a bunch of ETH and stuff at the top right, not as near as much as I should have. Should have sold a bunch of SUI, especially. We can look at that chart. Look, that was a mistake. I can own that. Should have taken some out. I think I took a little bit, but just nothing compared to what I should have, right? Solana, same boat, you know, and these do get more questionable as you go down the list, okay? But with something like Bitcoin, on a short-term scale, not selling my Bitcoin looks like a mistake. Two things. One, this is not guaranteed, but the drawdown's not guaranteed. But number two, people said the same thing right here. And it goes down. And eventually, because time is the leverage that we have, it comes back up to new all-time highs for a couple reasons. One, this dollar is going to shit. And two, because you're making it happen. If it takes 6 months, if we go through another 6 months where it just goes sideways and nothing happens, that's fine. Because, I have too many tabs, Jesus guys. Because you're printing cash. And the whole time the cash is just stacking you more Bitcoin. More Bitcoin, more Bitcoin, more Bitcoin. So then when you are right, when you let time be the thing that does the heavy lifting for you, and the market then corrects and comes back, the market reaches new all-time highs, whether that's 140, or if you think Bitcoin's going to be 500K by 2030, whatever prediction you have, if that's what you're gambling on, if that's what you're betting on, investing on, well then the accelerated returns from the cash flow, from running an actual service-based business, will take that and it will accelerate that. Your equity curve won't even be smoothed out like this. It starts to exponentially grow. It's the smallest line I've ever freaking seen. But you guys get the point. We get the point. I'm going to click a little Q&A button here. Let me see, start a little Q&A. 1 second, boys. Let me know if this is making sense. Start asking some questions if you have anything, because I just wanted to give a little value here while I could. And again, this is the game. Your long-term assets doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It can be Ethereum, it can be Solana, it can be anything, right? Borrow against it. Or some assets may be risky enough you don't want to borrow against. You may want to monetize directly, and that is fine. This is the game with your Bitcoin, right? This is the game with your long-term assets you don't ever want to sell, at least not this cycle, right? Or at least not right now, not at the bottom, boys. Assets you're holding for new highs, intra-cycle, giant. Think of this as a giant swing trade. Pulling equity out of your Bitcoin, dumping that into pools on certain assets at the right time, at these lows. Look at something like I've been openly running Chainlink pools, right? Freaking nice support level right here, right? Opening link pools in mass and swing trading that to the top where I get cashed out, and then boom. So not only was I running this flywheel the whole time, printing fees, buying more Bitcoin with that, stacking for the future upside, but this guy, we don't want to forget that this guy is also going to shoot up in value as well and make money. Also, keep in mind, guys, the drawings will never be pretty. I'm left-handed and a mouse is for right-handed people. So it's never going to look good. And this is the game. It's a game as old as time. People have been doing real estate forever. This game is not new. But how do you apply this game to the new frontier? And this is exactly how. You use your assets and you build a business on top of them. You leverage the asset that's going down for sure, which is the dollar. It's going down for sure. You shouldn't just be holding dollars. If you feel like these assets are too risky, you're forgetting the risk of doing nothing. If you do nothing and you take zero risk, well, you'll never get where you want to go. You lose opportunity cost, or you lose your opportunities. There's insane opportunity cost of not buying the Bitcoin, of waiting. So much opportunity cost. Think about 70. You were scared. Some people bought. They were called stupid. That's fine. That was a high. Not the best time to buy. But look at them now. Everyone that bought at 70, if you just zoomed out and didn't give a F, you're chilling, right? Correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm not saying this is the only way to play it, and I'm not saying you can't manage a little bit, swing trade a little more medium-term trading, not like a 10-year bird's eye view. But the more zoomed in you get, the more fucked up this shit get, guys. And you start making mistakes. You get too emotional. I didn't even realize until people in chat and like our Discord, not our Discord, sorry, our school group, were blowing up about the pump. I wouldn't even know this was happening. And then the dump happens, I see the same thing, and it just makes me not happy. I'm not happy at all. Like, I don't wish this on anyone. I'm not happy about my portfolio. But it's like, holy crap, guys, what are we doing? If we're building systems, if we're building stuff for the long term, look, since November, nothing's happened. Same spot. If you're in pools and you're printing, this is why I don't give that big of a fuck, guys, is because these pools, they're printing. There's so much red. The pools are printing. I'm making money. I'm running a business. The business will generate me cash flow to get out of whatever situation and drawdown we get in, and I build more asset bags at the bottom with that cash flow, and it just goes to the upside. So what is the actual risk scenario for borrowing against Bitcoin or ETH than putting the funds in like Arrow or Sui with a USDC pool? What's the risk in the pool for the asset and then against the BTC or Sui? So here's my thoughts. My thoughts are whatever asset you're borrowing against, you don't want to increase the risk by, I don't have a specific number, right? If you're borrowing against Bitcoin, I don't feel weird putting that in something like an Ethereum pool, right? Some very blue chip assets. But do keep in mind that as you're borrowing from Bitcoin and putting that into Sui, now that may work out very, very well for you. But you do need to be aware that the risk level is different, right? Like if you're borrowing funds, you're putting it in somewhere that lost like 80% of its, 60% of its value, that is a real concern, right? You need to be aware of that. Now at a high value zone like this, I don't want to scare you. I'm not trying to incite fear in you. I just want to definitely illustrate what can go wrong because I've had many things go wrong, right? And so that's a good reason why you should not over leverage yourself. You don't want to be borrowing more than, even on Bitcoin, I'd say 40, 50% max at a low. Okay? If you're going to borrow from other assets like Solana or Sui, like 30% is probably a hard cap, right? If you got 10 grand in Sui, you should only borrow 3. Okay? All right? But borrowing against your funds, what is the real risk? The risk is you move that capital, which again, it's borrowed against the assets you own. So you're basically pulling equity out of your home. And imagine if you pulled equity out of your house, guys, and you went and gambled at the casino and lost it. Well, now you just owe a fuck ton of your mortgage and you just reset your progress, right? So it's similar. What I would say is when you're borrowing against your Bitcoin, that debt will get diminished in value over time. The dollar becomes worth less over time. Its buying power lowers. Your Bitcoin will appreciate. So the Bitcoin alone could eventually just pay off that debt. That will be a thing. So if Sui went to shit, you did that. One day, I believe that would be fine because the Bitcoin would just pay that off, right? But we don't want to lose money unnecessarily. Putting it in something like Arrow, I'd say, is taking the risk spectrum to a whole new level, right? This is definitely something that I would not be borrowing against Bitcoin to do. If you choose to do that, just know that you're accepting a very, very high risk. It's a very, very high risk level there. Okay, it may not feel like it because a lot of us were very scared to buy Bitcoin at the beginning and we forget that and somehow we end up down the fucking list. I know we've all been there, right? We're all buying some coin and you're like, why the hell do I have this? Why am I even looking at this? Right? You just read the name off, look at the picture on half of these and you're like, well, why am I about to buy this thing? You really ask yourself, right? Now, Arrow, I do have exposure to, right? It's just important that you understand what I'm saying is like, I would not pull out your reverse mortgage in your home to then throw it in Arrow, right? Same thing with your Bitcoin. You can use the fees that you're generating through DeFi to then open up those Arrow pools. Use freshly earned capital to go directly into those Arrow pools and then cash flow into more of that flywheel. Get more of those long-term assets. Is this making sense? Let me know if it is. If it's not, I'll keep digging into this a little deeper. But you definitely don't want to borrow from this and put it into something that has the potential to just nuke, right? We're trying to preserve the capital. So I'll take from Bitcoin and I'll throw it into ETH. I'll take from Bitcoin and I'll throw it into Solana. I haven't thrown borrowed capital into SUI off of Bitcoin. I've borrowed against my SUI to put that into more SUI positions. So hear me when I say that, right? Just be very aware of, what you are doing, right? As far as what's the risk in the pool for the asset, and then so against the BTC or the ETH, the risk of the BTC or the ETH is that, well, let's just look at Aave. Let's look at Aave real quick. Let's see if I have, I think it's this wallet. Oops. Maybe. What's the risk? All right, cool. Quarter Bitcoin right here, right? Earning fuck all percent. Again, we're not here for the interest. We're here to borrow against our assets and monetize them through a business strategy, okay? So what did I borrow? Well, 10K, less than 50%, right? What is 10K divided by, almost 24? It's about 40%. It's pretty much right on par with what I'm saying, right? And that's 40% again at a lower point in the market. I'm not borrowing 40% at the all-time high, boys. Hear me when I'm saying this, right? Hear what I'm saying. Okay, buy Bitcoin. Quarter Bitcoin here on this wallet, and let's look. So, 1 second. Max LTV, 73%. This is the most you can borrow against it. So if you had 10 grand, you could only borrow $7.3 thousand, and you get liquidated at 7.8%. So here's why I usually hard cap everyone at a 40% borrow rate. Not every asset has this threshold, but in theory, if say they're all close to this 80%, if you borrowed 40% against your Bitcoin and Bitcoin cut just right under in half, if Bitcoin went from right now $90,000 to 45K, that puts me within, technically I would get liquidated, but it's like 1% away from getting liquidated because 40 times 2 is 80%, right? Does that kind of make sense? I don't want to lose anyone there. Basically, with an 80% threshold to get liquidated, like if I'm borrowing 40%, the market can cut in half on Bitcoin, and that's when I get liquidated. So I have room down to $45,000 to at some point decide to increase my loan to value in 2 ways. Paying off the debt or just getting more asset, buying more Bitcoin. And the way this flywheel works is that, well, I'm getting more Bitcoin every day. So whenever I come in here and claim my rewards, I can just take those rewards and, geez, too many tabs. And I just funnel those into more Bitcoin, right? So my LTV is getting healthier over time. Or you can pay down the debt. Paying down the debt is what I would do if you were kind of up here in this 100K range and you were unsure of what's next. You could focus on the fees by paying down the debt. Whereas down here at a high value zone, I want to be using the fees to accumulate more and more Bitcoin. Like I said, depends on your outlook and your time frame. If you're looking at the daily chart zoomed out like this, I'm focused on Bitcoin down here, accumulating and paying off debt maybe up here. Or even just arbitrage and interest rate, right? Because it can get very advanced if you want it to. If I'm borrowing for 3.5%, and I can go to Navi on SUI and earn like 6, 8, 10% on my USDC, why would I pay this off when I can just earn more on my USD somewhere else, right? Kind of makes sense. There really is a lot of levels of the game. You can truly, truly go way down the rabbit hole on this stuff, but it's important just to start simply at first, just to keep things moving. So your risk with lending is you borrow too much, like a retard. Or, for example, how we talked about, SUI's is going to be different, but let's just keep using Bitcoin as an example, pretend it's SUI. If SUI's liquidation threshold was 80% and you borrowed 40%, and let's say you did that at a high of, let's see, $4, well then at $2, that was your liquidation point. So you would have got liquidated down here. Very steep drop, but it did do it, right? So you'd have had to keep either buying more SUI on the way down or paying off debt on the way down. Now, if you do get liquidated, I will cover what happens. They take a 7.5% penalty. So if push comes to shove and the worst thing happens to you in the world, literally all that happens is the protocol, sell some of your Bitcoin to pay off the debt. And they take a 7.5% penalty, which is not good, by the way, but it's not the end of the world. And this 10K that you have, although it will be down in value because it's been over here in pools that are going down, right? But you will still have that. You will still have that capital over wherever it was working. So it's not like, listen, it's not good to happen, but it's not like you just, blew up everything and it's a GG, like it is when you take out a leveraged trade. And if that gets liquidated, it's just game over. The money's all gone, right? So hopefully this is making sense. Where was I going with that? Yeah, just the infinite flywheel, boys. Just keeping the money moving, creating the system to where it's just, again, it's just like the real estate moguls, what they're doing. Except we have the opportunity to do that down here, and you don't have to have a couple $100,000 to go straight into a home spot like you could do with Bitcoin, because the difference is that over here, they're using borrowed money to get the home to begin with, oftentimes, not always. But over here, you can directly come in with spot. So you truly own 100% of the asset, whereas this one you're paying down a mortgage for 30 years, maybe 15. It depends on exactly how you run your business, right? But there's levels to the game. It's different. Ask some questions, boys, or I'm going to wrap it up here soon. I'm going to wrap it up if not. And you just systemize, right? You don't have to just buy Bitcoin. This is an old example of something that someone was doing, right? Where we're letting Bitcoin out. It's up to 50% borrow against it. Run that in pools. Don't run this pool. This was at the time looking good. I don't know if it's looking good now or not. I don't know if it's looking good. If it was doing 10% a month, that's $2,500 in cash flow a month. You could take X%, buy more Bitcoin, X%, stack stable coins for if something like today happens and you buy that dip. Look at it. Look at it hitting my buy zone right there. It's flirting with it. It flirted with it earlier, right? It was flirting with it. You just keep it moving. And those are what numbers would look like if you had 50K, right? If it was doing 10% a month, which I don't know if it is or is not now. At the time when we did this all together on a video, it was yielding 10%. Does not mean it will be tomorrow or today or next month. But BNB ADA is pretty blue chip. A good place to start without going too deep down the rabbit hole, my friend. Definitely just a little Rabby wallet, go a long ways, right? Get a little ETH on there, pick a layer 2, maybe base chain. It's pretty simple to start, right? And just explore. Just explore. And let's say like I don't know exactly what you like. You said Bitcoin and ETH, right? You could just experiment. We could type in a little ETH. Let's see, little ETH USD. And you could be like, I have this one open right now, so let's just look at it apparently, right? 34% wide, doing 80% a year, right? And that's just what it's auto popping, right? What's my actual range? Let's see. You guys are curious? And this one is, I guess this one's actually on mainnet. Sorry about it. But it's 40% wide, doing 64% a year. It's covering tons of price action. Tons of price action. It's 64% a year. Like 5% a month. It's not crazy. For like a $500 amount, yeah, just start small. Start small, right? When you want to open it, come in here, take some of that ETH on base chain you sent over, slide it in, launch that in there. Make sure you set good ranges, right? Come to the chart. If you're looking at ETH, you want to be finding those support resistance levels. Maybe you want to just come down here quickly at a glance and find like a upper 2000s right over here, right? Maybe you want to go like 2900 or something. And maybe you want to try to stretch that up to the highs. Get somewhere around 4K. We're going to do upper 3s, lower 4s. Find something that suits you. If you don't think Ethereum is going to bounce back up, you should not do that. Should not do that. That's why it's very important that we find your goals specifically in what you believe in, assets you believe in, and where you believe and have a thesis they're going to go, and we structure everything around that. But yeah, throw $500 in. Is it going to change your life and on your income level? No, but it's a start. And if you're making 5% a month, whether it's $500 or 50 grand, it's still a good percent return. It's the same thing as if like, should I day trade with $500 or 50 grand? It's like, well, if you're making 5% on a trade, you're still making a 5% trade, right? Hopefully you guys hear what I'm saying. Can you take your investment out anytime? Yes, I have one out of range. Let's just look and see what this one's doing on this wallet. Let me unfilter all the $3 test positions. Oops. And watch the trash flood in. Ready, boys? And boom. Maybe. I thought it was going to flood in. Now it's frozen. How is the computer? Oh, there we go. And I swear there was more than that. What am I filtering? 1 second, boys. Just do a little reset. Is it just thinking I'm on my other wallet still? Hold on. Let's load the other wallet up. I think this one, the Zora one's out of range. Yeah. Yeah, you can withdraw anytime. You just would literally click, and I have options, right? If I want to put more money in, I can increase the balance, right? Boom, slide a little ETH in there, and bam. If I want to rebalance, get a new range going, VFAT is a nice tool that lets me just change my range at any point in time. You can just play around. Let's see. Boom. Boom, right? Just lock it in, get a new range going. You can withdraw X%. If I want to withdraw 38%, if I want to withdraw 5%, if I want to withdraw 90%, just click in random numbers, 62, you know, whatever you want. Find the dollar amount you want. Let's do about $53. Boom, there you go, right? Just withdraw whenever. Compound the fees straight in. You can harvest them, and someone was asking about, someone on my community was not community, but like the YouTube community side was posting about like, hey, do I have to claim it in ETH? It's like, no, dude, you can choose whatever you want. You can get it in the two assets directly when you claim. You can be like, yo, bro, I want to take all my rewards in Coinbase or Bitcoin, right? You can take them into USDC. You could be full degen, take them into Brett, right? Whatever you need. And again, just test it small. Test it small, use a little bit, get it in there, stick it in, and get it printing. Get it spitting out money each and every day, right? And you're just shopping for the assets that you believe in and that you're looking for. That's going to be different for everyone. That's why it's hard to give blanket answers. It's much better for me to teach you just what to do, what to look for, what can happen, what is the general strategy, right? And the guys inside, you know, my community, they get a lot more of that. Hey, this is like my actual asset, my actual goal. I have this much money coming in every month. I need to get this, 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 this. And we structure everything around that, right? You know, that comes with years of experience and just a lot of mistakes I've made to know exactly how to navigate, get to where they want to go. But you have to get started. You have to learn on your own as well. And I'm giving so much value here on between the streams and the YouTube channel and the advice where it's like, you got to start playing and you either have to get experience yourself or, you know, get experience from somebody else. And I'm trying to share as much as I can with everybody here. Just, you know, it's not the same being face to face. A little different. A little different, man. Harder to feel out what people really need. Let's see. Let me get a little bit of that going. Maybe a little bit of that going right there too. Oh yeah. Let's see. And there's levels of the game, man. It's gonna be different for everyone. Something I've looked up before is like, let's look at Pax G. Let's see how that's doing right now, which is a tokenized gold. Right? It's like, okay, what can we do with a tokenized gold? It's so exciting, right? That's crazy. It's with USDC, but that's crazy. I don't think it's sustainable because I get baited in this shit all the time. I've always loved the idea of like these gold pools, but there's no way it stays at 83. There's no way. God, you could go so fucking tight. Hold on, let's look. It's gonna get me excited and it's gonna be freaking trash. Let's see. Oh, not what I wanted. Let's see if I can get any boxes. No, let's just do actual gold itself. Which one do I want? Do I really care? Okay. I wouldn't even need to go wide on something like gold, though. That's crazy. Also, insider tip, don't know the credibility. I was at a birthday party Sunday, and there's a girl there that's like training to be a, not a financial advisor, but some kind of like CFA or something. Maybe it is just financial advisor, right? And she was saying that somehow she knows that the company she's working for, they're busy selling gold. So be careful. Be careful. Anyways, let's just take a peek. Man, just busting through highs after highs. You do like a 4,900, not even that, 4,850 on gold, and I don't even know where we put this on gold. It doesn't move. It should only go up over time. What's the biggest drawdowns on gold? What percentage is this? Basically, I mean, this shit barely moves, guys. I'm so used to crypto. I was raised by crypto that this looks like just so boring. But if somehow you could run gold from, I mean, 8% drawdown, like worst case, there's no way. You could just crank it. Oh, I don't even think you need to do that. Oops. But there's no way. I refuse to believe that you're actually going to make 243%. I don't believe it. The way I could believe it is if you have all these fucking passive dudes that are in the pool right now, and just all these dudes are old ass whales that set these ranges forever ago, and they're like, they just don't even realize gold is this high. A lot of people are out of range, possibly. I don't believe this can be done, but this makes me so fucking. I want it so bad. I want it to be real. What's even better, potentially, look, I'll like it for you guys. Let's look at this real quick. 0.7% wide, 0.4% wide. I mean, this is an example where if you wanted gold in the portfolio, right? So instead of a cash position, you don't want USDC, you want to buy gold. These are two different gold peg tokens that you can provide a tight range on because, again, they're both pegged to gold, so they move together. You're earning 10% and you're holding gold. This is the weird shit in DeFi you can do that you could never explain to anyone because they don't know or care or even understand what you're saying. Taking you down here with me, but you guys are looking at, you know, more of like the income crypto generating opportunities. But if you have a bunch of gold on the side somewhere, fuck, bro, sell that shit. Start printing 10% a year on it. Get it on chain. Tokenized gold. W. And that's just gold to gold. So if it goes out of range, you're still just holding gold. You're not stuck holding USDC or Ethereum or anything. Let's look at. No, that's cap. That doesn't make sense. 7-day fees with. It's cap. Let's see. Pax sheet to die. Interesting. So it's gold to a stable. $600 in fees, though? I don't know. Interesting things, though, right? It's probably the most complicated asset to shop for, too. Let's see. There's no way those yields are real, though. I refuse to believe. It's a pretty small pool. 400K, 1,500 printed. Some of these, though, it's like, hey, you have to test. I've tested gold to Bitcoin before. It didn't print what it was supposed to. And that's where, like, some of the stuff like this, you just kind of got to check it out, get some exposure to it, and start to feel that thing out. But you can monetize gold to USDC, so you start selling gold into USDC while you're earning 36% on the side. Your downside risk is gold moving down? Like, what's the fucking safer play than that? Like, the risk of this pool, you make 36% while you're in range. And if you fuck it up, you go down into gold. Oh, no. Oh, no. The asset that literally can't fucking die. I said that. Gold's about to fucking nuke. There's levels of the game, boys. Let's see. Let's look at, I mean, what's something else? What's something fun, dude? Let's see what a no-risk position would be. Of like USDC, USDT. Catch some high volume. I mean, there will be a little movement there, right? The stablecoins are going to move a little bit. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Who has control of these pools? They're smart contracts. It's code built on the platform. So think like a Uniswap. Think PancakeSwap. These places. So when you open one, there's a code that is audited that you open, you sign, you'd open your own pool or you join an existing pool. The ones that you would be joining more than likely are already existing pools. And it's just a bunch of funds in a smart contract. And then when you go in your wallet and you click, ooh, I want to swap this for this, it just automatically gets routed to the right ones. Or if you go to a deck specifically, you'd be only using theirs. Where like a lot of the wallet swappers, like if you're at MetaMask or Rabby and you click swap on an asset, usually it will just route it to wherever it needs to go. It'll just pick one. It'll pick the best rate usually. My shit is freezing up. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. But something like this, yeah. But these might not stay. It just depends. Monetize your stable coins. If you're sitting on cash, keep it moving. Or put it in gold. Monetize the gold. We showed you a 10% gold to gold pool. Crazy. Crazy. And then you're not so stressed. You're not so stressed. You have little stuff going on. Your cash can be moving for you. Your Bitcoin's moving for you. Your Ethereum is moving for you. Everything is moving for you. That's the whole goal. That was the whole intro song. Money moves. It's the whole intro. I might let me see real quick, boys. 1 second. Sweet. Give me some questions, boys. Give me something fire. You got like 10 minutes left. We'll knock it out. This is me. This is me teaching you guys how to make passive income off the crypto assets you already own. Don't let this be you. GG, boys. Might make that a wrap then. If everyone's happy, if everyone's content, then we'll wrap it up. The whole point of this call, just wanted to give some guys some hope, some fear, not just some emotional posting. Like, you know, a bunch of YouTubers and stuff probably going to be posting like, oh, do this now, sell this now, do this, clickbait you in there, do all kinds of crazy videos and whatnot. And it's like, I'm just here to tell you, man, that if you're buying quality assets, you're going to be okay, bro. Even if you're just holding Bitcoin, you're going to be all right. Just quit looking candle to candle and see the long-term vision, see the big picture, learn to monetize. Because if you got cash flow coming in, you ain't going to give a fuck. You ain't. You're not going to worry. Your boss starts talking smack at work, shove one of those in his face, man. Say, hey, bro, put some respect on the name. Right? No backdoor access. They're audited and stuff like that. Thanks for sharing the info. Of course, brother. Of course. Of course. Of course, brother. And then just play small too, man. Like you're talking about backdoor access. It's like just get to learning, right? I know for me, I learn best doing. So I've made a lot of mistakes by doing. Some people, they'll learn by asking questions and they'll learn better from watching me do things. That's fun. Some people learn better from the videos. Some people like reading my newsletter because they absorb it better reading. They love reading it in written form, right? So it's just a slower pace. Can digest it, can just look back up a couple lines and read it again so it makes sense, right? Everyone's got their preferred medium of that knowledge transfer. For me, I've always been like, fuck it, we just gotta go, right? And so maverick my way down and figure out the mistakes later. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot. I've also read a lot and watched a lot. I've figured this out. And I've helped 140 something people do it too, right? So I got a lot of reps in it. Just get started. Play around. Play around with it. Find some assets you like. See what you can do. Shop around a VFAT. Look at pools. Look at farms. Pay attention to the blockchain they're on. You know, get money on the right chain, on the right wallet. You know, connect the wallet over, deposit some funds, and just watch it work, you know? Put a little money in, get a little money coming passively each and every day. You start to scale it. It's just a matter of scaling. Once you scale it to where a number is meaningful for you, the game changes, right? And there's guys that are in riskier shit. I've got, the largest position in here is only doing 26% a year. It's like the little Bitcoin USDC pair. It's doing absolutely nothing right now, right? So that lowers the APR tremendously. But it's like, that's such low risk. I'm just chilling. And that's borrowed against actual Bitcoin, right? So it's just going sideways, doing nothing. I don't care that the market dipped today because I have all that Bitcoin, which is still worth the same amount of Bitcoin. It's only different in dollars. So if you're buying Bitcoin, like, why does it matter that much? And then I have this pool right here, which is more exposure to Bitcoin and the dollar, and it's printing me dollars. I'm getting more Bitcoin for free, more USDC. And I can use that to take on higher risk bets. Buy some Link, buy some Monad, buy some bread. I'm not saying buy bread, but just you could, right? And that's the game. You just compound it, and everything plays off of each other. You buy your digital real estate. You open a store to sell it. You make money. You buy more. And you become the richest doggo on the blockchain. And not this guy. You don't want to be this guy. You definitely want to be this guy. Boys, drop a comment if you have any questions. Like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you've gotten at least a little bit of value, right? If you're watching this live stream later, drop a comment if you have any questions. I'll always hit you back in the comments. I almost always do. Respond. Let's see. Render USDC. So Render is natively on Soul Chain now, but there are still some options on VFAT as well, on like Polygon and stuff, I think. Let's see. My bad. It's the OG. Oh, now it's frozen. Yields in Solana have been down tremendously, in my opinion. A little lackluster. Apparently frozen. Bro, it's not even a bad PC. It's a whole ass gaming PC, bro. Like, I don't understand. Here we go. Absolutely insane. Let's look on mainnet. The safest possible place you could be. I guess this one's a mainnet too. Lower TVL, but let's take a peek. And we'll do a quick chart because I just am the king of free value here on DeFi YouTube. Let's do a little render, but you might actually ignite me to move some of this render over. Mine's still in Solana. I just painfully just not wanting to move it back. Let's see. Boop, boop. And pair it with Ethereum. Let's turn a little boxes on. Oh my God, it's so much. I'm gonna freak out. 1 second. Okay, not enough on the weekly. Yep, not even going to use that shit. That's insane. Blinding my ass. All right, let's just look at the low real quick. We got, let's catch this low. Let's just catch the whole low. Fuck it. And actually, let's go to the 4, 0004. Going to lock that in. Oops, way past it. Okay, and this is going to be a little different depending on who you are and where you think this asset's going to go. You're pairing it with Ethereum here in this example as well. I'd probably chop it just right about, probably somewhere right around there. Try to catch that. Let me see what the boxes say. They've got me, yeah, pretty much right about there. That's pretty damn good. I'm fucking AI. I'm literally AI. 0022. Imagine. So I'm not saying it's the sexiest APR in the world, but I would be very happy with this range. It's literally 172% wide asset to asset, which is crazy. It's doing 53%. Now remember this, minus 48, 124. Let's look up here. What was it? Just kidding, there's a 20-second delay. Minus 48, 124. Oh my God. Oh my God. There we go. Yeah, about the same. Makes sense. Let's see if there's anything valuable with a pivot. Lower TVL over here. Let's take a peek. Oh my God, what was it? Minus 48? 124? Yeah, so probably the first spot was the best bet. I'm just fucking human AI, bro. Locked in, 53% APR. Is it better to pool token with USDC or the chain token pair? So it depends, right? A lot of it comes down to that question. Doing the right thing at the wrong time will cause you some short-term pain. Okay, so if you pair Render with USDC, well, hang on, let's look at this chart. This chart, the normal Render chart you're looking at is literally Render USDC, right? Okay, it's going to be a lot harder to keep it range because it's going to chop a lot more. But if the price pumps outside of your range, so if the price, pretend this is USDC, if it goes out this way, you get stuck holding cash. Which maybe, if you've been holding Render for years and never sold it, like me, even at the all-time high, that's good. You finally cashed out of it, right? Not necessarily a bad thing. The opposite would be true for Ethereum, okay? So if you get converted out to the upside when you're paired with Ethereum, first off, it's easier to keep them in range, oftentimes on a tighter scale, because they both move up together, okay? So this chart is just showing Render's outperformance compared to Ethereum. If you get cashed out into Render if you get cashed out into Ethereum on the way up, you're still holding an asset that will go up in price over time, which is good if the market's bullish. The market moves down, you're holding two assets in a pool paired together that are both going down in value. So you get both assets going down in value. Whereas if you were in a pair with USDC and the market moved down, it would lose money a little slower because a good chunk of that pool would be in Render and not, would be in USDC and not in Render. Sorry, it's getting a little late here, boys. It's getting a little late. So it just depends. You will get more appreciation out of asset to asset, but that also comes with more depreciation if the market moves down. Generally, it's a little harder to get a good APR on asset to asset as well. It's very dependent. It's very pool to pool. But if I can go asset to asset, that is generally my favorite way to play it. It's just that usually on asset to asset, if you go this wide, you can't even get this. A lot of times it's like 15, 20%. You're like, fuck. Might as well buy gold. Render Sol, Render USDC. I got you with that Render ETH, baby. Don't worry. I've shared your video to a few people I know. Well, I appreciate that, man. Hopefully they appreciate the value. It's hard for me to explain what I do. People ask now and then, and depending on who they are, I can give them a more detailed answer, but it's very valuable for the people that find it valuable, that have the ability to take action or are already in the space. It's very valuable information. It's a year's worth of it, lots of reps. But for someone that doesn't own any crypto, this information is absolutely useless right now. And over time, it may change. And one day they may find that video and it'd be very, very intriguing and very valuable to them. But right now, it's only valuable for the people that can see the value in it, which was the most bullshit answer I've ever given, but it's so true. It's so true, right? If you don't own Render and ETH, everything I just went over right here, outside of the theory of what's happening, was pretty much irrelevant to you. And that's why inside our group you get the best value, because our conversations are directly tied to you and exactly what you need. Render, there's no Render USDC, which is kind of interesting. That's quite interesting, actually. Potentially lose some of the asset in the pool to the other asset. Exactly. Right. It's 100%. That means it just clicked. It just landed. I'm glad that just clicked, right? Because your downside is the assets you choose. And it doesn't mean that your downside is only this one. It also means it's this one. Okay? So you basically get converted to the worst performing asset or whatever happens. And what I mean by this is, let's go back to Render to ETH. Keep in mind, this chart is Render to ETH, okay? As Render is dropping faster than ETH can say, what the fuck, right? As it's dropping, Render is underperforming ETH, you are starting to DCA into more Render. So you're getting more of the asset that is tanking until eventually, if you leave your range to the downside, you're holding just spot Render, which would be your biggest downside risk. But if you're already holding Render, it sounds like, then is there any added risk? Because you lost money slower because you had some ETH that usually would lose money slower than just Render. If we go to the upside, you start pumping out of Render into Ethereum, which is performing worse than Render. It's still moving up. The whole market's correlated for the most part, 99% of them. You're still making money in it, but is that Ethereum going to hit the potential 4 to 5x that Render could, right? And so you slowly start to DCA your way out into Ethereum, which is a good long-term asset, and it will appreciate. I hit a 3x on it last year and cashed out, right? It's like, it's not bad. It's not a bad asset, right? It's just, it reduces your risk. It does the dirty work for you. And in a lot of cases, it actually is something that will force you to take profit, which is something a lot of us need to work on, myself included. Myself included. Look at my fucking Sui. Look at that shit. Bro. But you have to learn. Take those mistakes and learn from them. Let's see. You just need to be potentially prepared to lose some of the assets. Yeah, not losing the assets, but yeah, into the other asset. Exactly. So if it's cash, cool. If it's gold, cool. If it's render, cool. If it's Brett, cool. But you got to be okay with that asset. Because your downside risk is you hold 100% of the underperforming at some point. So if you pair it with something like Fartcoin, if it goes to 0, well, you're gonna lose all that Solana with it into it. Unless you can pull out beforehand, right? It's not like you're just stuck. You can pull out whenever. But like say it's that whole analogy where if you go on deployment, if you get deployed overseas and you're holding something like that, well, you might come home and it's not there. I think most of us can agree if you get deployed overseas, we're not as worried that we're more worried about not coming home than our Bitcoin not being there. Our Bitcoin's gonna be there. I'm worried about me coming home from war. I'm not worried about my Bitcoin, but I would be worried about a meme coin pool still being there without active monitoring. And what do you think? I train my girlfriend how to do this shit? Bro, she doesn't even, bro. She's picked up a little bit of lingo now and then, but it's, yeah, she could not. She could not. Yeah, she'd have to call Jake, figure out my C phrases. Oh, fuck. That'd be GG. But yeah, that's the game, man. If you can get asset-to-asset pairs, you will make a lot more to the upside in terms of appreciation. But also, don't be afraid of the USDC pools, especially if you're running a strategy like this. Because remember, the initial place you're borrowing from is already 100% in assets. You're already going to get 100% upside. And you'll get some upside here if it was USDC. If this was asset-to-asset, well, now you're even more exposed, even higher leverage point to the market. Which means that if the market's moving up, and say you had a pool like we just went over, we did render ETH, this is all pumping like crazy. Your Bitcoin's pumping like crazy. You're making cash like crazy. If you think 50% of you is crazy, if you're a degen, yeah, it's boring. You might as well just fucking click off the video, right? Like 50% is terrible. But if you're anyone that comes from this world, you probably think what I'm saying right now is a scam because this is unbelievable. Well, now it's saying 197%. Wait, no, it's reset. My bad. One sec. Was it 48, 124? Oh my God, I'm locked in. 53%. If you come from TradFi, you think this is a scam. If you're used to crypto and you know what yields can be, you think this is trash, unexciting. So if you can build now while it's unexciting, later on when a reward does end up looking like you have days where it does something stupid, like then you're freaking excited. Then this is exciting. Or you have days that's even better than that, and then that's exciting, right? Can I control Z? Of course not. And that's the game. And so this is a great option, I'd say, for someone like you that holds both of these. I wouldn't even look on Sol. Its native chain is like on Sol now, but the Solana pools, they're not paying. Solana to render is not paying well. It hasn't for a long time. I haven't been in there for like over a year and a half, I don't think. It's just not paying good enough. And that's where knowing that a lot of coins are chain agnostic. For example, like USDC. If you're borrowing USDC from your Bitcoin on base chain, look, here I go fucking ranting about random shit. If you borrow USDC on base chain, I can still bridge this over to like Solana and use it there. I can bridge it to Sui and use it there. It's never stuck. I can bridge it to the real fucking world like Tron, get that shit out of here and pour it out and spend it on whatever I want to buy. Spend it on a car, spend it on a girl, spend it on Christmas, spend it on a hospital bill. Whatever you want. It's never stuck in one place. So a lot of people, they get, same with wrapped Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin's on its own chain, can't really monetize it. Well, you pull it to base chain as a wrap version, you can. XRP, hard to monetize on its chain. Wrapped XRP, you can, right? This may be good if you're facing a 10-year jail sentence. Which part's a 10-year jail sentence, bro? 10-year jail sentence, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about the time frame of like investing, like, yeah, if you could put it in and wait 10 years till you're out of the cage, you come back to your Bitcoin, you feel like you're retired for life. You put it in Fartcoin, you come out of jail in 10 years. It's GG, bro. 10 years in jail and nothing to show for it. Oh, fuck. Let me know what you mean, though. If that's what you mean, I can't really tell 100%. It's getting late, like I said. But if that's what you mean about time frame, then exactly. It just goes back down to the whole conversation at the very beginning of the stream, where it's like, zooming out. Let time be the leverage that improves your portfolio. We have it. If you're a young guy like me, you definitely have it. If you're 80, if you're 85, it's almost GG, brother. You gotta get shit in place for your fucking grandkids. I ain't trying to be an asshole, but like for real, right? It's GG. Ryan, I already dropped it. It was the beginning of the stream. Actually, that was the second version. That's not the OG. When I end the stream, I'll play it right here just for you, Ryan. I'll play the original. The problem with the original is that there's this weird third character who is a love child between my character and Jake's. The AI that was making it made this combination person. So I made a second version for just this call. I was going by myself. That's just me. And I'm gonna make another one with Jake and then just splice a bunch of the footage together like I did the first time. It's just I need more instances where it's not the inbred version of us two. Oh, fuck. Let's see. 108. We went over, boys. It's all right. 5 minutes till the hour. Any burning questions? I promise I got you. And if not, it might be music video time for Ryan. Ryan's been begging. Because I locked it under memberships. That way everyone would know it's there, but they can't watch it. All right, GG, about to play the music video. I'll do the second one, and I'll throw the first one on for anyone that's still watching. But if you drop a question in chat, I'll respond while the music's playing. GG, boys. Love y'all. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Turn it up. Money don't sleep. We do it different. Yeah. Fast car, money move, wrist froze, on chain too. Bad ones in the cool. Why the capital circulate? We don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private keys, security. Life good, yo steady. Money working while she next to me. Pull up clean, city glow. Engine roar portfolio. She like vibes, I like flow. Every dollar gotta know where it go. Bank slow, I move fast. Phone buzz, yield in the past. Did the work, then the craft. Now the money double back like that. New watch, but I didn't splurge. Ran the plate, then I reimbursed. Assets first, then the urge. If it don't multiply, it don't deserve. They chase highs, I chase dreams. They want love, I build machines. Fast car, money move, wrist froze, chain two, bad ones, in the cool. While the capital circulate, we don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private keys, security. Life good, yield steady. Money working while she next to me. Self-custody, no leash. Every move signed by me. Wrist defined.
Boys, I'm still here. This shit's cracking me up.
I don't gamble, I scheme, lend it out, bring it home. Borrow smart, never overloan. While we toast, funds grow. Different lifestyle when the cold runs slow. They talk price, I talk flow. They need banks, I don't know. Whole system in my phone. If it's locked, I leave it alone. Money in motion, that's the way. If it's idle, it's a way. Fast car, money move, on chain life, no excuse. Private plays, private views. We don't wait, we execute. Yeah, fast car, money move. You'll stay up, never lose. Luxury and latitude. Money moves, how I choose. Lifestyle funded by systems. Welcome to the other side. We're live.
All right, wait. Ryan, your job in Thailand, Ryan, is to get as much footage of B-roll as possible that me and Jake make a real version of that intro. So here comes the inbred stepchild. Here we go.
Yeah. Turn it up. Money don't sleep. We do it different. Yeah, fast car, money move, wrist froze, on chain too. Bad ones, in the cool, why the capital circulate, we don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private keys, security, life good, yo steady. Money working while she next to me. Pull up clean, city glow, engine roar portfolio. She like vibes, I like flow. Every dollar gotta know where it go. Bank slow, I move fast. Phone buzz, yield in the past. Did the work, then the craft. Now the money double back like that. New watch, but I didn't splurge. Ran the plate, then I reimbursed. Assets first, then the urge. If it don't multiply, it don't deserve. They chase highs, I chase dreams. They want love, I build machines. Fast car, money move, wrist froze, chain two, bad ones, in the cool, while the capital circulate, we don't lose. Late nights, liquidity, private key, security, life good, yield steady. Money working while she next to me. Self-custody, no leash, every move signed by me. Wrist defined, rules clean, I don't gamble, I scheme, lend it out, bring it home. Borrow smart, never overloan. While we toast, funds grow. Different lifestyle when the cold runs slow. They talk price, I talk flow. They need banks, I don't know. Whole system in my phone. If it's locked, I leave it alone. Money in motion, that's the way. If it's idle, it's a way. Fast car, money move, on chain life. No excuse, private plays, private views. We don't wait, we execute. Yeah, fast car, money move. You'll stay up, never lose. Luxury and latitude. Money moves, how I choose. Lifestyle funded by systems. Welcome to the other side. We're live.
GG, boys. No one go to jail. And we'll see you in the next stream. See you, boys.